Today I want to show you how to build a self-watering bucket. It is springtime in Northern Virginia and the trees are fully budded out and most of them are flowering. Springtime is go-go time in the garden for me and there is so many tasks to do. So I want to build my self-watering buckets. I have produced 2 of them already and I have enough supplies to make another 8 of them and I want to show them to you today. But I also am kind of torn because I want to go fishing today. I want to go looking for some morel mushrooms, so foraging. And I also need to start clearing the garden bed in my neighbor's yard because I want to start planting some stuff in there as well. I need to plant potatoes, I need to plant onions, I need to put the peas into the ground. And even after all that, I need to check on the greenhouse. There is so much to do in the garden. I think I need to hire a helper sometime soon. If you live in Northern Virginia and you want to be an intern, I would be happy to take you under my wing and show you all about gardening this season. I think it would be a good idea to show a local person how to grow food and how to help me to grow food. You'll get paid in vegetables every single week and hopefully we can become good friends. But seriously, if you live in Northern Virginia, Fairfax area, please reach out to me, gardenforage@gmail.com, and we can start talking there and see if it would be a good fit for you to help out in my yard. I did not invent the 5-gallon bucket that I'm going to show you right now, so I am going to figure out a way to link the guy's description on here somewhere, or the link to the guy who originally built it, and I'm just going to show it to you because you are my followers and I want to show you what I do and what I find out on the internet, and then I succinctly put it into a video for you. So this contraption here is a self-watering bucket. Typically you have your 5-gallon bucket container, you drill holes in them, and then you can plant in this no problem. The issue is that they are very hard to maintain watered or moist at all times. So last year I was looking at a method of passive watering and I came across a video on YouTube, and this gentleman has a system where he takes one 5-gallon bucket. You see this one does not have any holes in it, and then you take a second 5-gallon bucket and you put this little piece of wood here. He asked for 4, I just did 3 because I'm lazy. So these blocks of wood are 4.5 inches tall, and what it does is that when you put it into here, it holds the bucket up higher. So the reservoir of water here is about 2 gallons. So that's how you can keep a lot of water at the bottom. Now, you also need to have a rope, and this rope right here is 32 inches long, and this sits in the reservoir of water, and then it wicks up the moisture into the soil. And I also have this piece of tubing here. This is a 1/2 inch PVC pipe, and this rests at the bottom here. Now the bottle, you cut the bottle here and it makes a great funnel to put water into here. So when I start filling up with the water hose here, the water will go down all the way to the bottom. So this wick will pull up the water from the reservoir and keep the soil moist here. So this is the system I want to use in the greenhouse. So the reason I want to do this is because I want to use this system because I have so many buckets in my house and I can put them inside the greenhouse, start the plants really early, like right about now, and hopefully in about a month when we are past the first frost, I can take the same buckets out of my greenhouse and put them just in front of the greenhouse, and then I will have pepper plants and tomato plants that are 4 to 5 weeks ahead of everyone else's, and that's just going to give me a whole month of more crops that I can eat even sooner. So this is the system here, and if you had the buckets and if you got this thing right here, I'm gonna have to do the math, but I think it's gonna cost about $10 for me to make each system here. But I have been pretty scrappy. I always try to do things frugally, so I have been collecting pieces of wood, and the buckets are free to me because I have free access to them. You can get them for cheap online. You can Google any of the Subway places or anything that uses like the Chinese restaurants. They have 5-gallon buckets that they will give to you for free, or maybe $1 or $2. So $2 for that. This piece was about 50 cents, and the screws and the things I already had. The wick, I did have to buy this rope. I bought a piece of rope that was about $20, and it's gonna give me about 20 wicks. And then the soil is the most expensive part of this whole operation. I went to Home Depot yesterday and I figured out the best soil they have for the most cheap price. And this thing right here is a compressed bag. It has, I did a test before. It's compressed and it's dry. So you take it out of here, you put it in a tub and you add water to it. And it gives you 2.5 buckets. But what I'm going to do to stretch this is I'm gonna add some perlite. I have it right here. This thing helps with the aeration of the soil. And I have a bunch of compost that I'm finishing up right now, and that's gonna be probably 6 or 7 of those bags worth. So that's great because I'm gonna stretch my soil that way. But anyways, I am going to be putting those into here now. And if you want a detailed video on how to build this, let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate video. But I think if I just link the gentleman's on here, you can just watch this video and figure out how to build them. It's very simple to build. Here's the greenhouse. Yesterday, it was 81 degrees here where I live. And inside the greenhouse, it was 110 degrees. So I decided to take out the spinach out of here. And that has given me space inside the greenhouse so I can put more buckets in there. So let me show you here. This spinach is already bolting because it is too hot in the greenhouse. So I figure I'll take it out of there and I hopefully get a couple of harvests. So let me show you inside the greenhouse and how this is going to work. So as you can see, I have a lot of 5-gallon buckets in here. They hold water right now to kind of regulate the temperature of the greenhouse. But you can see I have many spaces for this type of system. So the goal is to put 10 of these in here and hopefully grow the peppers and tomatoes and squash in here. Just a few of them. Once they get to a good size and there's no more danger of frost outdoors, I'm gonna take them just right here and then they'll continue to grow outside of the greenhouse. Check this out. I just took my peppers from inside the house. This beautiful pepper here. This is a sweet pepper, but it's very small. It's about this size. My grandma grows this pepper and she calls them rice chili peppers, and she grows them in El Salvador, and they're really tasty, but they're not spicy. I love those little seeds that come from my family. We've been growing them for years. Anyways, I'm going to be placing 2 of these peppers per pot over here, per gallon. So maybe you can help me plant them right now. I have my bag of soil here. I'm gonna cut this guy open and then dump it into the tub. So in here, I have this compost. It's not fully finished, but I think it'll be fine. So here's the perlite. I added 1/3 of that bag because I'm gonna make 3 of these mixes. This is what the tub looks like after putting all the amendments, perlite and finished compost. And now I'm gonna fill up my bucket. I hope this works because those bags are $20 each. So I'm trying to stretch my dollar here by mixing in some of my inputs from home. I'm just going to fill up this quickly and hopefully we'll be good. So this one is my prettiest pepper that I've grown so far. I actually started this in December, and check out how big it is. It is a little yellow. It had a bunch of aphids, so when I brought it out here, I sprayed it down with a hose, and that's all I do for aphids. I don't really like applying neem oil. I mean, I could, but I don't like doing it. So to plant this, it should be pretty easy. I'm just gonna put the pot in here, put soil around it so it leaves a mold, and once the mold is shaped, I'm gonna take out the pot and then plant it. Check this out. So now I'm gonna take the pot out and we should have a perfect hole to put the pepper into. Check that out, perfect hole for that. So now we just gotta take this guy out of here. Look at those beautiful roots. And now we're just gonna drop it in. And like a glove, my friends, it fits perfectly in there. So now it is in there. I have my water reservoir here and we're gonna fill it up. So we're gonna put my little funnel here. So the last thing I need to do is actually drill a hole here as an outlet. So once it's full, it can get some water out of there so we're not inundating the roots with too much water. So here you have it. My very first pepper planted into the greenhouse. We have the experiment starting now, and hopefully I can get some peppers in very few days, because this one already has a little flower right here. It's big enough to support it, so I'm gonna let the flower bloom. If I see that it's causing problems, I'll remove the flower. But here it is, 5-gallon bucket, self-watering. We'll see what happens. The last thing I'm gonna do with this is put a tomato cage on this so that it has some support. Now, since I am a gardener hoarder, I have so many of these tomato cages. So now I just gotta go around the green. I need to go around the garden, collect all my tomato cages, and set up a bunch of those self-watering buckets. Let me know if you're gonna try this at home, and let me know how it goes. So here's my little tomato cage. And let's see if we can figure out a good way to do this. Outside or inside, we don't know. Okay. Might be too wobbly. So I might have to change the method here. There we go. That's good enough. So here is the first pepper planted into the greenhouse. We'll see how it does. I hope it does really well. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one.